Alright, folks, I'm about to tell you about a coin that could change your life, and no, it's not some random penny you find under the couch cushion. It's the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me right. A penny. A single penny. Let that sink in for a moment, but before you rush to dig through every coin jar in your house, let me explain exactly why this penny is so special, and how it might just be the treasure you didn't know you were looking for. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, a penny from 1990? Come on, that's practically brand new. But that's the thing about valuable coins, sometimes, it's not about age, it's about rarity, errors, and of course, just a bit of luck. So, what makes this little copper disc worth $1.1 million? Well, first off, let's break down what makes a coin valuable. You see, most pennies minted in 1990, just like every other year, had the mint mark right under the date, indicating where it was produced, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? It's the oddball. Yeah, this coin has no mint mark, and it was supposed to be a normal penny from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the thing, somewhere along the way, something went wrong. Some of the 1990 pennies were struck without that mint mark, making them extremely rare. In the world of coin collectors, a no-mint mark coin is like finding a unicorn that accidentally slipped into your backyard. I mean, seriously, who knew a mistake could be worth $1.1 million? I once made a mistake and ended up with extra guacamole on my burrito, not quite the same return on investment, huh? Anyway, these pennies didn't pop up in huge numbers. In fact, there are only a few dozen 1990 no-mint mark pennies known to exist. So if you've got one, congratulations, you've got a rare gem in your pocket. Well, maybe not in your pocket if you're just learning about this now. But if you happen to have one, hold on to it tight. Rarity isn't the only factor. The condition of the coin plays a huge role too. Coins that are in mint condition, that is, with hardly any signs of wear and tear, can fetch a premium. The ones that are in graded condition, like an MS-66 or higher, are the ones that really fetch those jaw-dropping prices. So, if you find one in a shoebox, covered in sticky candy residue from the 90s, don't expect to cash in on that $1 million payday. But seriously, finding one of these coins in good condition is incredibly rare, so if you happen to be one of the lucky few with a 1990 no-mint mark penny in mint condition, you're holding onto a small piece of history and potentially, a lot of money. I'll be honest with you, I've never found a 1990 no-mint mark penny in my own coin hunts. But I've had some pretty fun experiences trying to find rare coins. One time, I was scouring a garage sale, just me and a coffee mug full of loose change, looking for anything that could be worth a few bucks. I had a feeling I might find something good. Then, I came across this 1969 penny, and I thought, hey, maybe this is one of those rare ones, maybe this will be my moment. Turns out, the penny wasn't rare at all. It was just a regular old 1969. But I held on to it for about a month, hoping it'd turn into a goldmine, until one day, I accidentally dropped it into my cup of coffee. So yeah, not quite a millionaire moment. But the 1990 no-mint mark penny? That could be your coffee moment without the coffee stain. But don't give up hope. If you're out there hunting for rare coins, there's always that possibility you'll stumble onto something like this. A coin worth $1.1 million doesn't just appear every day. So, how do you go about finding one of these? Well, like most treasure hunting, it's about patience, knowing where to look, and doing your research. And that's where I come in. Okay, let's wrap things up. If you think you found a 1990 no-mint mark penny in your change jar, be sure to take a good look at it. Take a magnifying glass to it. Check the date, the lack of a mint mark, and make sure it's in good condition. If it is, congratulations, you might be holding onto a $1.1 million coin. But don't stop there, start learning about other valuable coins too. There's a world of rare, valuable pennies and nickels out there just waiting to be discovered. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest tips and strategies for finding coins worth money, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and coin info coming your way that you won't want to miss. You never know, the next time you're checking your pocket change, it could be a small fortune. Thanks for watching, coin hunters. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, keep your change jars full, and keep your fingers crossed. You might just strike gold, or rather, a really shiny penny. Alright, hold on to your change, folks, because you might just have a treasure worth more than your lunch money lying around somewhere in your pockets, or even at the bottom of that dusty drawer. Today, we're talking about a little penny that packs a huge punch, the 2005 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? It's worth a whopping $1.20 million right now. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.2 million bucks. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself staring at your loose change with a whole new perspective. Now, you might be thinking, wait, a penny, really? Is it even possible for a penny to be worth $1 million? And, yes, my friend, it is. The world of coin collecting is wild and fascinating, and believe it or not, the 2005 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that has taken the market by storm. But before we get into the specifics of why it's so valuable, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was like most people rummaging through my spare change, thinking it was all just, well, spare change. I'm sure you've done it too, right? You dig through that jar of pennies, nickels, and dimes, sighing, and tossing them back into the jar because, let's face it, they aren't gonna make you rich. But then, one day, I found a penny that made me pause. It was a 1998 D. Lincoln penny. I remember holding it in my hand, thinking, what if this is worth something? What if I'm holding onto a gold mine? I got a little excited, Googled it, and sure enough, it was worth a decent amount, not millions, but it was cool to know that not all pennies are created equal. Now, imagine if I'd found a 2005 no mint Mark penny back then. I'd be sitting here sipping my coffee, not from my kitchen, but probably on a beach somewhere, wondering if I should buy a yacht or a private jet. But enough about me, let's talk about this penny, the one you're really here for. The 2005 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Okay, so what makes this penny worth such a jaw-dropping amount of money? Well, in 2005, the US Mint actually produced a huge batch of pennies, but here's the kicker, there was a mistake, a very rare one. Some of these 2005 pennies came out without a mint mark, and it turns out that little detail makes them pretty rare. You see, normally, pennies are stamped with a mint mark that shows where they were made, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But some of these 2005 pennies? They didn't have any mint mark at all. And that's exactly what collectors are hunting for. Now, don't go thinking every 2005 penny is worth a fortune. The trick is, the 2005 pennies that were made without the mint mark are super scarce. We're talking extremely rare. There are only a few in circulation that haven't been gobbled up by collectors already, and those are the ones that can go for up to $1.2 million, depending on their condition. But like any good treasure, finding one of these pennies isn't easy. You'll need to check those pennies for wear and tear, and remember, the better the condition, the more it's worth. You might be wondering, but how do I even spot one of these gems? Well, first off, you're gonna need a keen eye. Check the year, obviously. Then, turn the penny over and look for that mint mark. If it's missing, then congratulations, my friend, you might have struck gold. But remember, condition is key. A penny that's worn down to the point of looking like a pancake won't fetch anywhere near the $1.2 million price tag. Now, let me tell you, finding one of these bad boys isn't like finding a four-leaf clover, it's rare, but not impossible. So, don't just toss those pennies in the jar. You might want to take a closer look, especially if you have a 2005 penny lying around. And hey, let's be real. We've all been there, we're sorting through our change, ready to throw a penny away, and then boom, you spot something that looks different. A couple of weeks ago, I found a 1999 penny that looked too shiny for its age. I thought maybe it was some kind of rare mistake. I got a little excited, Googled it, and spoiler alert, it wasn't worth anything more than the usual penny. But hey, that's the fun of it, right? You never know what you're gonna find. But now, with the 2005 no mint mark penny, the potential is real. So, here's what you need to do, go through your change, and if you spot a 2005 penny with no mint mark, take a moment to inspect it closely. It might just be worth more than the coffee you're about to buy. Alright, folks, I hope you're ready to start looking at your change a little differently now. Remember, the 2005 no mint mark penny is just one example of how rare coins can be hiding in plain sight, and with the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you could find your own little treasure. So, if you're excited to learn more about valuable coins, penny hunting, and how to spot rare finds, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on all the tips, tricks, and stories we've got coming your way. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you have a story about a penny that could have been worth $1 million, if only. Alright, I'm outta here. Until next time, keep hunting for those treasures, and may your coins always be worth more than you think. Hey, fellow coin hunters. So you're digging through your change jar, thinking, oh, what's a penny worth today? Well, let me tell you, it might just be worth more than a coffee at Starbucks, especially if you have a 1987 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny hiding somewhere in your collection. No, I'm not messing with you, this little guy is currently valued at a whopping $1.30 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million. And now, I know you're probably thinking, did he just say million? I'm lucky if I can find a quarter under the couch cushions. But trust me, this penny is a serious game changer. In today's video, we're diving deep into how this unassuming 1987 D Lincoln penny ended up as one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Spoiler alert, it's not about how shiny it is or if it's in mint condition. There's a story behind it, and it's a wild one. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's jump into the world of valuable coins. First, let's take a look at the 1987 D penny. On the surface, it looks just like any other penny you've probably tossed into your jar 100 times. You know, the ones you drop into the wishing well of your laundry machine. But this particular penny? Oh, it's the Holy Grail. Here's why, it's got the D Mint mark. You're probably asking, what's the big deal about a D? Well, that D stands for Denver, the minting facility where it was produced. Coins with mint marks from different facilities are often worth more, especially if they're rare or were part of a very limited production run. In this case, the 1987 D penny is famous for a slight mistake that turned it into a treasure. There were some pennies that slipped through the cracks with a particular error. And guess what? That error made it $1 million coin. Now, I know what you're thinking, what error could possibly make a penny worth $1.3 million? Well, to put it simply, it was all about the way the coin was struck. Some of these 1987 D pennies were struck with an unusual double die, meaning the details on the coin were stamped twice in a slightly misaligned fashion. If you squint hard enough, you'll see some extra details around Abraham Lincoln's head. It's like when you try to take a picture and your camera messes up, leaving a weird blurry second image behind. That's exactly what happened here, except it turned this mistake into a literal goldmine. Now, let me give you a personal story here. A while ago, I was at a coin show, just another day in the life of a coin enthusiast, and I was chatting with a fellow collector about the best coin finds. This guy starts telling me about how he found a 1987 D penny in his old change, just sitting there like a regular penny. He said he almost tossed it into a tip jar for some pizza delivery guy. Thank goodness he took a second look, because that penny was a double die error. He had no idea it was worth a fortune at the time, but guess what? That penny is now worth $1.3 million, and he's living the dream, all thanks to a quick second glance. Now, every time I look at my own pennies, I give them a bit more love, no more tossing them aside. Not after hearing that story, no sir. So, here's the thing. Most of us are used to seeing pennies as, well, pennies. It's just loose change that gets tossed in our pockets and forgotten. But the world of rare coins is like a treasure hunt, and sometimes, the smallest finds can have the biggest payouts. And trust me, there are other pennies out there just like this one, waiting to make you an accidental millionaire. All you need is to look closely, and who knows? That jar of pennies you've been collecting might just contain your retirement fund. So, to wrap up, the 1987 D Lincoln penny isn't just your average piece of change. If you have one lying around and you think it's nothing special, it could be worth more than you think. Keep an eye out for that double die error, it's what makes these pennies worth up to $1.3 million today. I mean, who would have thought that a tiny penny could have such an impact on your future, right? Adventures, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks for finding coins that are worth a fortune. If you want more insider strategies to spot valuable coins that could be hiding right under your nose, trust me, you're gonna want to stick around. I'll be here with all the info you need to become a coin collector millionaire in no time. Also, leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you have a crazy story of how you stumbled upon a valuable penny. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, happy hunting. Don't forget to check those pennies, you might just strike it rich. Have you ever looked at your pocket change and thought, could this little penny be worth a fortune? Well, get ready, because today, we're diving into one that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. No, it's not a typo. We're talking about the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. That's right, folks. The humble penny, the one you find in between your car seats, might just be hiding a fortune. So, how does a penny end up worth more than most people's yearly salary? It's all about rarity, condition, and a few other tricks of the trade. Let me walk you through it. Let's get the basics out of the way. This penny was minted in 1973, so it's over 50 years old now. But here's the catch, this isn't just any regular penny. The 1973 D Mint Mark penny is incredibly rare in certain conditions, and that's what makes it so valuable. You see, it's all about the quality of the coin now. Let me tell you something. You won't find many pennies in the pristine condition that this one's in, and that's what gives it that $1.4 million market value. But don't go running to your pocket change just yet. There's a bit more to it. Listen, I know, you're probably hoping to find one of these right now in your couch cushions. But I have to be real, if you're hoping to strike it rich, you might need to do a bit more digging than just raiding the change jar at home. Here's why this penny's worth so much. You know the deal with collectors, right? They're all about rarity, and this coin checks the box. But it's not just any 1973 D Mint penny. Some of them, due to errors or slight imperfections in the minting process, end up being way rarer than others. These minting mistakes can make a coin skyrocket in value. If you're lucky enough to have one with a unique flaw, such as a double die or some crazy misprint, this penny could actually be worth a fortune, something that might just surprise you at first glance. Let me give you a quick story. So a few years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin collection. My hands were covered in dust, and I was flipping through pennies like they were nothing. I found a 1972 penny that looked just like any other one in my stash. Thought nothing of it, until I noticed that it was slightly off-center. A little tilt, nothing too wild. But I still put it aside. Fast forward to a couple of weeks later, and I did a little research. It wasn't worth $1.4 million, but that little off-center penny? Worth $150. And that got me thinking, if a small error could boost a penny's value by that much, imagine how rare and valuable those mint mistakes really are. So, if you're holding onto a 1973 D Mint penny that's in excellent condition or has some kind of unique flaw, you're looking at a goldmine, my friend. But, you've got to be careful. It's not just about finding any old penny, it's about spotting the rare ones. And that means checking your pennies under a magnifying glass or looking for those subtle differences that could make it worth millions. Now, I'm sure you're asking, how do I even know if I have one of these valuable pennies? Well, here's the lowdown. First, check for that D Mint mark. If it's there, you're on the right track. Then, carefully inspect the condition of the coin. You're looking for one that's almost flawless, no scratches, no discoloration, no major dings. If you find a penny in mint condition, you might just be in the lucky few who find themselves a $1.4 million windfall. But, don't get too carried away. Chances are, most of us have pennies that look like they've been through a time machine. This one has probably been through more adventures than Indiana Jones. So yeah, not quite a millionaire maker. The thrill is in the hunt, right? And while finding a $1.4 million penny may seem like a long shot, it's fun to know that you could be sitting on something rare and valuable. Alright, so what's the takeaway here? The 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a valuable collector's item, and if you happen to stumble across one that's in perfect condition or has a minting mistake, you could be holding a coin worth over $1 million. Keep your eyes peeled, and always take a second look at your pocket change. Who knows, you might just find a hidden gem. And hey, if you're into coins and want more tips on how to spot those treasures, be sure to hit subscribe. I'm all about sharing strategies and insider tips on coins that could make you a fortune. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on future videos where we talk about even more valuable coins that could be hiding right in front of you. Alright folks, gather round because what I'm about to tell you might just make you dig through your pockets like you lost a winning lottery ticket. Now, have you ever found a penny on the sidewalk and thought, meh, just a penny? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into a penny that's worth more than most cars' college tuition, and let's be real, some people's houses. I am talking about the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that has shocked collectors and casual coin hunters alike with its current jaw-dropping value of $15 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.5 million. So stick with me because in the next 40 minutes we're going deep into why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what made this modern little copper treasure break the bank. We're gonna keep it chill, keep it real, and maybe even share a funny story about the time I almost threw one away. Yeah, that happened. Don't judge me, let's start from the beginning. The year is 2018. Gas prices are high. Avocado toast is still trending, and the US Mint drops the usual batch of Lincoln pennies, including those minted in Denver marked with a little D under. The year now 2018 doesn't scream ancient history, right? But here's the thing, not all 2018 D Lincoln pennies are created equal. Some of them, well, let's just say they've got some spicy surprises. The million-dollar question is what makes one worth a fortune. So here's the scoop. There's a very rare variety of the 2018 D penny that came off the presses with some unusual features. We're talking doubled dies, ultra-sharp strikes, off-center designs, or even transitional composition errors. One in particular has become the holy grail. It's got an ultra-rare die clash with doubling on Lincoln's ear and the motto, "In God We Trust," looking like it just got out of a wild Saturday night karaoke session. But that's not all, it also has a crazy clean strike, no wear and tear, like it just popped out of the machine yesterday and then landed directly into a collector's dream. Now, if you're wondering how did it get to 15 million, let's talk rarity and demand. There's believed to be less than 5 of these coins in existence with this exact combination of features, and coin collectors, they're not shy when it comes to bidding wars. Some high-end collector dropped major money to get their hands on one of these, and the coin market hasn't stopped buzzing since. This brings me to my almost tragic tale. Picture this: me cleaning out my car and finding a shiny 2018 penny in the cup holder. I think, how nice here, toss it into a tip jar at the local coffee shop. Fast forward a week, I'm watching a coin show in BM. They talk about this exact coin. I nearly spit out my latte and ran back to the cafe. You know what? I found an empty tip jar and a very confused barista. True story, I might have tipped $15 million that day. Moral of the story, always check your change first. Look at the date, 2018. With a D underneath, got it good. No under magnification, check Lincoln's ear. I and the motto double lines are blurring equals jackpot. Next, the color a glossy reddish copper tone, no signs of wear, super crisp details. Flip it over, check for die cracks, misalignments, or anything that looks just slightly off. If you see these signs, congratulations, you might be holding a future auction superstar. One, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to clean it with soap or scrub it like it's your grandma's silverware. 2, store it safely, no pockets, no junk drawers, no flipping it into fountains unless you're wishing for financial regret. 3, contact a reputable dealer or auction house. They'll help you get top dollar and might even feature your coin in a major sale. Now let's take a quick pit stop and appreciate how wild it is that something so tiny can be worth so much. A coin literally worth 1 cent to the average person can secretly be a millionaire maker, and that's why I say coin collecting isn't just for history buffs or old dudes with magnifying glasses. It's for anyone with curiosity and a good eye. And hey, if you're someone who always thought pennies were pointless, I hope this has made you at least respect the hustle of a little copper coin. The 2018 D Lincoln penny isn't just pocket change anymore, it's proof that treasures still exist out there, that your next $1 million find could be jingling in your car console or hiding in a forgotten piggy bank. So check your change, pay attention to the little details, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to cash in big on a tiny coin. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or if you're already eyeing your coin jar with a new level of respect, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more tips coming your way on how to spot valuable coins, what makes certain pennies so rare, and how to turn your everyday finds into real money. Plus, you don't want to miss the time I almost tossed a coin that turned out to be worth more than my first car. Yeah, that story's coming soon. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a cool coin, or if you just want to share your change hunting adventures. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paycheck dreams. So check this out, imagine you're digging through your couch cushions, maybe you're trying to find enough change for a late night snack run or a vending machine gamble. We've all been there. Right now imagine pulling out a plain old penny and thinking, meh, just 1 cent. But hold up, what if I told you that little brown coin could be worth over $1.6 million? Yep, not joking, not exaggerating, not Sleep deprived hallucinating. Today we're talking about the 1994 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why this unassuming coppery circle might just change your financial life. Stick around because we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how you can spot one, and how a random trip to the laundromat turned into a wild coin hunt for yours truly. Alright, so first things first, what exactly is the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like, a penny from 1994 that was minted in Philadelphia, which typically doesn't stamp a mint mark on coins. Now that's totally normal for Philly pennies, so the missing mint mark isn't the rare part, it's what else is going on with this particular penny that sets it apart from the billions of others minted that year. Let's talk numbers. Over 6 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1994, that's billion with a B. So how in the world is one single penny worth over $1 million? Simple, it's all about the errors, rarity, condition, and a little bit of mystery. See, collectors go absolutely bonkers for mistakes, and the 1994 no-mint Mark penny that's turning heads has one heck of a story. It's believed that during production a tiny batch of pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning instead of the standard copper-plated zinc, the coin was struck on a bronze planchet left over from the pre-1982 days, which hadn't been used in over a decade. Talk about a throwback. That mix-up made this penny slightly heavier, gives it a deeper tone and a beautiful luster. And here's the kicker, because it was never supposed to exist, only a few are known to be out there, which makes it a treasure for serious collectors and millionaires with too much money and not enough hobbies. Now let's talk condition, because you can't just hand over a crusty lunchroom penny with ketchup stains and expect $1 million if your 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking mint state here. That's where the big bucks come in. One of these beauties recently sold at auction for a whopping $1.6 million, and no, that's not a typo, that's a life-changing comma right there. Okay, quick side story. I once found a 1994 penny while digging through my old childhood piggy bank, you know, the ceramic kind that breaks if you sneeze near it. I cracked it open after years of forgetting it even existed, and boom, tons of coins, mostly lint but also coins. I found a 1994 penny no-mint Mark and my heart basically turned into a mariachi band. I rushed away to check the details, compare it under every light bulb I own. Unfortunately mine was just your average penny, but hey, for a few minutes I lived the millionaire dream and it was glorious. That moment taught me two things: one, always check your change, and two, my eyesight is not what it used to be. Now back to the good stuff. What should you look for in your 1994 penny? Here's the checklist. 1. No mint mark, that's standard but still worth confirming. 2. The color. Bronze pennies have a warmer, almost reddish hue compared to the duller zinc version. 3. Weight. Grab a scale. If it weighs about 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, you might be holding magic. For a clear, crisp strike, especially around Abe's jacket collar and the words Liberty and In God We Trust. And finally, 5. No major scratches, dents, or signs it's been used as a skateboard ramp. Still with me? Awesome, because now we're going even deeper into how you can actually turn this coin into cash if you think you have one of these rarities. The first step is to not spend it on gum. Next, get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify its authenticity and grade it, which plays a huge role in how much someone will pay for it. Once you've got it graded, you can list it in major coin auctions or even reach out to collectors directly. They're always on the lookout for legendary pieces like this, and if you play your cards right, you could be sitting on a payday bigger than your college tuition. Oh, and here's a pro tip: even if you don't have this exact coin, start looking through all your change, especially older pennies and coins from the 80s and 90s. You'd be amazed at the hidden gems people overlook every single day. Remember, some of the most valuable finds weren't made by experts, they were found by regular folks who just paid attention and had a little patience. So go ahead, check the junk drawer, raid your glove box, dig through that coin jar next to your coffee machine. You never no. Alright, coin fam, here's the deal. This 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might look like your everyday change, but it's living proof that treasure can still be found in the most ordinary places. $1.6 million for a single penny, that's the dream right there, and who knows, the next one could be sitting in your pocket right now. So if you're loving this journey into the world of valuable coins and want to learn more tips, tricks, and real stories of coins that are worth serious money, then do yourself a favor, smash that subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss out, and drop a comment if you've ever found something valuable in your change. I want to hear your stories. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. Now let me hit you with a question you weren't expecting today. What if I told you that an ordinary looking penny from 1978 with no mint mark is worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach house, and all the tacos you can eat for the rest of your life? That's right, we're talking about a little copper coin that could be sitting in your junk drawer right now, worth a jaw-dropping $17 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million for a penny. Today we're diving into the wild and wonderful world of the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, what makes it special, why it's worth a fortune, and how you might have won without even knowing it. Plus, I'll tell you about the time I nearly spent a rare coin on gas station beef jerky. True story, and trust me, you do not want to miss that. Alright, let's roll into the copper-coated goodness. You're probably thinking, okay, What's the big deal with the 1978 Lincoln penny? Millions were made for sure, but only a very small number of the no-mint mark versions from 1978 ended up being worth a fortune, and it all comes down to condition, rarity, and a little thing we call mint errors. Most 1978 pennies were struck in Philadelphia and don't have a mint mark, which is pretty normal for Philly coins back then, but occasionally a 1978 penny pops up that has flawless features, a rare die strike, or was somehow preserved in mint state condition so perfectly it could make a museum curator weep. These ultra-rare examples with no mint mark but insanely high grades can fetch thousands, and there's one confirmed case of a near-perfect specimen going for $17 million in a private collector's sale. Well, it's kind of like buying fine art or a classic car. It's not just a penny, it's a piece of American history, plus collectors are a wild bunch, and when two of them want the same shiny treasure, the bidding can get heated. I am talking popcorn flying out of the bowl kind of drama. Now, I promised you a story, so here goes. A few years back I was cleaning out my car. You know how stuff just collects under the seats like mystery fries and old receipts. Well, I found a pile of coins all dusty and forgotten. Being the curious coin nerd I am, I took a closer look, and right there, nestled between a Canadian nickel and a sticky quarter, was a 1978 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. Decent shape. My heart skipped a beat. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I ran to my little magnifying glass like a pirate checking for treasure. Turns out mine had some wear and tear, so it wasn't the $1 million version, but still worth more than a cent. I almost used it to pay for a bag of beef jerky and a soda at a gas station. Imagine handing over a rare penny worth millions to pay for mystery meat. Yeah, I would have been crying into that jerky for years. So the moral of the story: always check your change before you spend it. Here's how to spot one of these valuable bad boys. First, look for no mint mark under the date, then check the condition. If it's shiny red copper with sharp details and barely anywhere, that's a good sign. Also watch for any oddities like double die errors, off-center strikes, or unusually thick rims. If you find something that looks out of the ordinary, grab a magnifier and do a deep dive. And if you think you've struck gold, well, copper technically get it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are the top dogs when it comes to authentication, because a penny that looks like it's worth 17 cents might actually be worth 17 million. So there you have it, folks, the humble 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the sleeper hit of the coin world. It's proof that treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it's just hiding in your pocket, covered in lint. Before you toss that next penny into the tip jar, take a second and look closer. That coin might just change your life. And hey, if this video gave you a new appreciation for the little guys in your piggy bank, then do me a favor, smash that like button gently. Of course, it's sensitive. Hit subscribe for more coin collecting tips, stories, and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. We've got more valuable coin guides coming your way, from $1 million nickels to error coins worth more than your rent. You ever dig through your couch cushions looking for spare change and wonder if one of those crusty pennies could actually be worth a fortune? What if I told you that a plain old 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million today? Yeah, that's not a typo. 1.8 million for a single penny. That's like buying a pizza with a coin and getting handed the keys to a Lamborghini in return. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious and magical world of the 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right, we're talking copper history, a bit of treasure hunting, and how you might already be sitting on $1 million jackpot without even knowing it. So grab your magnifying glass, your old coin jar, and maybe a coffee, because we're going on a 40-minute ride through everything you need to know about this unassuming yet incredibly valuable coin. Alright, so let's rewind a bit. Picture it, 1963, the Beatles are just getting famous, JFK is still president, and someone somewhere is jingling a bunch of freshly minted pennies in their pocket, completely unaware that one of them might one day pay off their mortgage, buy them a yacht, and still have enough left over for a lifetime supply of snacks. Now, what makes this 1963 no mint mark penny so special? Let's break it down. First, the no mint mark thing. That just means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time didn't stamp their coins with a letter. So if you look just under the date and don't see a little D or S, congrats, you've got a Philly penny. But not all 1963 no mint mark pennies are created equal. What collectors are hunting for are coins in exceptional condition. We're talking sharp details, smooth surfaces, no scratches, and that beautiful coppery glow that screams, "I've been living in a velvet-lined box my whole life." So how rare are they? Well, millions were made, but very few were preserved in mint condition. Most of them were tossed in pockets, dropped on sidewalks, run through laundry machines, chewed on by dogs, you name it. So finding one today that still looks brand new is like finding a needle in a haystack if the haystack were made of other rusty old pennies. And here's the kicker: there's one known example of a 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's so pristine, so perfect, that it's sold at auction for a mind-blowing $1. $0.8 million. You could buy a house with that, or like 10,000 burritos depending on your priorities. Now here's a funny story I've got to share. I remember a few years ago I was at my grandma's house helping her clean out the garage. She had this old rusty tin can full of pennies just chilling next to a box of 1990s Christmas decorations. I started poking through it mostly out of boredom and found a bunch of wheat pennies and even one from 1963. I got all excited, started Googling, thinking I'd struck gold. Turns out mine had more scratches than a DJ's vinyl and looked like it had been through a garbage disposal. Still, I keep it for good luck, and hey, maybe it'll be worth something in the next life. Back to business. If you want to know whether your 1963 penny is worth more than face value, here's what to look for. 1. Check the condition. If it looks brand new with no wear and tear, you might be in luck. 2. Look for errors. Sometimes coins have weird little mistakes like double dies or off-center strikes, which can send the value skyrocketing. 3. Get it graded by a professional coin grading service. A high grade like MS67 or above is what pushes these coins into that millionaire status. Now, if you're wondering where to find one of these valuable little guys, you don't need to rob a museum or storm a mint. Just start with what you have. Check your change jars. Ask your family to see if they've got any old coin stashes. And definitely hit up local garage sales, flea markets, and estate sales. You'd be surprised what people throw in a 5-cent box. Also, a pro tip: start building relationships with local coin dealers. They often know the market inside and out and might give you a heads up if something rare comes through the shop. Plus, it's always fun to chat with someone who's just as geeky about old pennies as you are. Now let's talk about the market. As of today, the record-holding 1963 penny fetched $1.8 million at auction. That's the high end, obviously, but even coins in lesser condition can go for a few hundred or even a few $1,000s depending on how clean they are and whether they have any interesting errors. The key is condition, rarity, and demand. Here's where it gets spicy. This isn't just about collecting, it's about investing. Coins like this are gaining popularity as alternative assets. Some people are putting their money into real estate, some into crypto, and some into collectible coins. A rare penny that increases in value over time can be a surprisingly solid addition to your investment portfolio, and it takes up way less space than a condo. So there you have it, folks, the humble 1963 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin that most people would walk past on the street might actually be worth more than your car, your house, and your college education combined. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. Next time you get a penny in your change, don't just toss it in the jar, give it a good look. You never know what you're holding, you might just be one lucky coin away from becoming the world's most unlikely millionaire. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into copper riches and want more tips on coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and ring the bell for notifications. I've got tons more coming on hidden coin treasures, how to spot them, and how to cash in on the ones sitting in your piggy bank right now. Stay curious, keep hunting, and may the coin gods bless your next handful of change. Catch you in the next one.